Good morning, writers. It's Joanne Fedler here with another spoon-fed writing tip, and today we're going to talk about adverbs. Adverbs are the words that we use to strengthen our verbs, or so we think. Stephen King and many other people who teach writing, Stephen King in his book on writing, says that we should never ever use an adverb, that it is a sin to use an adverb. Adverbs, in fact, weaken our verbs, that instead of using an adverb, we need to find a better, more muscular verb. So instead of the sun shone brightly, rather say the sun blazed. Instead of she looked at him bleakly, you could say she grimaced. To try and find a much stronger verb rather than try and strengthen or prop up our verbs by using adverbs. And this is one way that we can keep our writing nice and lean and clean, and our sentences shorter if we're not stuffing them full of adverbs all the time. This is a great rule to think about when we are writing, to try and eliminate as many adverbs as we can, especially if the adverb is just trying to pump up the verb. Rather look at your word choice and try and find a stronger verb to do the work, because verbs really are the energy in our sentences. It's where the action happens, and so that's where we should be concentrating and try and expand our vocabulary of verbs. But of course, this is just a basic practice that we should think about, but we should always look carefully and decide whether in fact the adverb is just doing a boring job, which is trying to pump up the strength of our verb, or whether it is doing an interesting job. Now, here's one way in which an adverb does an interesting job, where it's not trying to strengthen the verb, but it's in fact creating a tension within the language. So instead of his love was warm, you could say his love was icy, which sets up a little paradox within the language, and it opens the language up to interpretation. Then what we're doing is we're looking at the textures within the language. We're not just trying to inflate a verb with an adverb at its side, like its little bodyguard, but we are in fact creating something very interesting within the language. I mean, remember that song Killing Me Softly? The way in which softly and killing work together is a very interesting use of language. Instead of he preached piously, you could say he preached insanely. And of course, that is an interesting use of an adverb. So always look at the adverbs you're using. Ask yourself, what job is the adverb doing? And if it's an interesting job, keep it. If it's just doing a boring bodyguard job, you can eliminate it and keep your sentences nice and short and clean. You can go to my website, www.joannefedler.com, where you can get a free gift, which is 21 tips on finding your writing voice. And you can also subscribe to this YouTube channel and share it with other writers. See you soon.